Well, that's a little tiny. How about now? Hey, we're live. It's working. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I've got a very unique opportunity for you today to share with me and what we're doing in my office. I've got a lot of things to cover and an outline that I'll share with you in just a second. But while I've got the opportunity here, Rick is taking a break from the phones in here with me right now. I'm going to change around my layout. Woohoo! So that Rick can join me. If you want to bring your camera up there, Rick. There he is. See if your mic works.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello, everybody.
Okay, you're on. Anyway, the reason why I brought Rick on here today is because he has become an expert in screening people all day long. While we're running the dialer, we're talking to people all day. We have leads from around the country, and we have our favorite places to work, of course. Some more room for Rick there. And Rick has a really neat personal style when he's talking to these seniors, and they really enjoy talking to him. Sometimes they want to tell him everything about their family and where they've traveled in their life and all this kind of stuff, and you can just feel in their conversation the walls just coming down. You can feel the trust that he's getting with these people. And here's just a couple of the last week. I don't know if you can see this. A huge stack of leads of people that we're still following up with so we can get these things going. And just about not a day goes by when Rick says, okay, here's one, go sign them up. And we just sign them up right then. We do it through the screen share method, which I'll share that with you at the end of this thing, step by step, the screen share method that we use. But Rick, if I'm going to give this over to you for a minute, if you can tell everybody basically what it is that you do, some tips, some pointers, what you're encountering out there, and how you combat those based on our best practices we've been learning in here over the last few months. So take it.
Okay, everybody, if you can hear me now, what we do is we run a dialer, or however you get your leads. Whenever you get a person on the phone, they call back, we call them back. You know that there are some interest there. And we cover with them, basically you want to start off, as you know, introduce yourself, and not go into too much of what you're doing because a lot of people will get their guard up right away. And so basically identify with them the fact that we go, you know, identify that they're on a Medicare supplement plan and that they are likely paying too much. And the best thing to do is find out if their current Medicare supplement plan, if they've been with them generally 2 or more years, even a year or more, chances are they've had some rate increases. And a lot of these people aren't, you know, we ask them if they have an agent that's been following up with them. Many times it's no, or they don't know who their agent is, and that's a big flag there for you to immediately start deviling a little further, knowing that they're probably have been paying too much. And a lot of them will know right away if, you know, if they're interested, and some of them try to give you the quick brush off. But there's ways around that, and the best thing to do is build a rapport with them, you know, especially in the area that they're in. Just kind of talk slowly. I found out if you try to think too fast, talk too fast, and be in too much of a sales mode, a lot of times, you know, they're busy still trying to talk back at you at the same time, and it gets confusing. As you know, you're dealing with seniors. So each person's, you know, a case-by-case basis. Some people are real quick and easy to speak with, and some are a little more slow, and you just got to kind of plod through it with them. But the thing that we do is, when we get them back on the phone, again, we identify what type of supplement they currently have, and we let them know that we're here to, independently, no-cost service to them. We will review the marketplace for them and identify their eligibility, is what I like to use, their eligibility for a reduced or lower rate. And that kind of, gets them to listen a little bit longer. They're at that point, they're not really sure if you're reducing the rate on their current supplement, if they're with Mutual of Omaha, or if you're reducing the, going to find a new company. So you haven't really told them yet that you're trying to put them into a new company. And that'll come later when you do your search or quote engine, and then you see who the lowest rate is. Then you can start kind of letting them know that, well, I'm looking at several A-rated companies here, and the one with the best rate, say, for instance, might be Forethought, or it might be GPM, and then you kind of give them that rate on a plan per plan comparison. And one of the things is, obviously, you always want to listen. Let them talk as much as possible, because the more they talk, the more you're gathering info and writing down notes and preparing a little dossier or lead sheet on them. We use a lead sheet kind of like this, a lot of hand scratch on it, and but that hand scratch comes in handy afterwards. And we identify their age, their zip code, their name. Chris is holding that up there, and that's probably a lot of my hand scratch and his as well. But it seems to work for us. And then later we put that in our CRM program, so it's a lot cleaner after that. But these are lead sheets that may not make it to the CRM if some reason these people are uninsurable or whatnot. Then for whatever reason, the ones that we identify they're uninsurable based on, like diabetes, something like that, we have a diabetic folder here that we've been putting them in, uninsurable folder for South Carolina, say, on this particular state. And we'll come back and work with those people for Medicare Advantage later in the window of October to December, as you know. Anyways, getting back to the Medicare supplement, once identify that what their plan is, who their company currently is, and what their monthly draft is out of their account. And a lot of times, I'll ask them, have you gotten a increase letter recently? And that helps them, it reiterates the fact that, yeah, they're probably paying too much, or yeah, I've had an increase, so they're already knowing in their mind that the company they're with is gradually costing them more. And many of them will go, right up front and tell you, yeah, when I first signed up at 65, it was it was $99 a month, and now it's up to $210. Well, my God, that's a shame. Well, has your agent been reviewing that with you every month? No. Do you know who your agent is? I really wouldn't even go into that too much, because you don't want to spur them to start digging out their agent's card and calling them their captive agent. So, at this point, this is what I can help you with. Let me review the marketplace for you. You find a plan-to-plan comparison. A lot of times, people are smart enough, if you gently start explaining, if they like what you find on the, like an Plan F to Plan F comparison, then from there you can show them that, especially if they're in a pretty good health, that you can move to like a Plan G, which the significant savings is just tremendous. And even though they have to pay the $140 a year, generally our rule of thumb is most of the time we can save you $300 to $500 a year on a Plan G. So if I gave you $400, would you give me $140 back? Well, of course you would. And one of the other things too is early on in the conversation, which I didn't mention earlier, you want to kind of identify their health, and you learn little tricks of the trade as you go along. Speaking of someone, generally if they're 74, 75 and up, the back of your mind's telling you get to the health criteria quicker, because generally, the older someone is, it's invariable that they're going to have health issues. So you want to identify that right as soon as possible before you spend a lot of time quoting and a lot of time burning up phone hours and not whatnot, or getting them excited about a huge savings and that they're going to be uninsurable. So so you want to cover that. And I don't, each person, again, you have to feel how the feedback is with them. So if you're if they're kind of grumpy, or they seem rushed in a hurry, they got family in the background and whatnot, you want to just gather as much information as you can. If you feel a little rushed, you don't want to go through all the health questions with them right up front, and and that'll just kind of turn them off. So I just ask them, are you in generally good health? As you know, insurance companies don't want to, give you a preferred or lower rate unless you can make it through their underwriting process. And we have a little thing here again on that sheet that Chris showed you. And right there it asks the major health occurrences recently: COPD, cancer, internal cancer, heart problems, or diabetes. Generally, most of them will have, I'd say a good 60% have some type of type 2 diabetes. Then immediately from there, I ask them, is that associated with heart problems? Because generally it is. And underwriting, if they get too many blood pressure or heart meds combined with the diabetes, then that's generally a no-go. But yes. But this is a typical example of someone here. This is a lady that we're going to be getting back to later today. She actually had a Plan G with Mutual of Omaha, and she the company we found for her is going to save her, if I can straighten this thing up correctly. There we go. And it's going to save her, this is a G to G comparison, $113 a month, and then I quickly, get the old calculator out, and that's $1,356 a year in savings. And when they start hearing that, then they're going to want to pursue a little further with you. And at that point, you can start talking to them about doing application. And again, at this point, you want to stress to them this kind of what they call not a bait and switch, because it's definitely not that, but this is kind of like the hook that gets them is, the takeaway is what they call it. There we go. The takeaway is, can we do an application if I can get you qualified through the, find out your eligibility with your health. And so that, puts the onus back on them, and that gets them geared up to, I want to try to do this, and I sure hope I'm healthy enough, and here, let me give you my meds. And a lot of times I'll go over the meds with them pretty quickly, because as you do this long enough, you'll know that as soon as you hear a couple of the meds that they have, will immediately tell you, okay, that those are the meds that are the knockout meds, and you probably have that information that Chris has shared with you before, the knockout list of meds. But anyways, we got just tons and tons of leads that we gather every day and that we follow up on. Over here is the one of the recent sold case. There we go, sold cases folder, and there's just a ton of them here. This is business that's already not only been submitted but approved, so quite a bit of it there. And that's just within the last month and a half that I've been here with Chris. So as you can tell, it doesn't take long once you get a feel for it. Just be yourself, be relaxed with the people, kind of act like you're just their friend, and that's what you are. You're their independent agent friend that's going to try to help them through this confusing process. And once they feel that and sense that, and don't feel like you're trying to rush them or you're trying to sell them something, then they're going to have a little more comfort level with you. And then I always tell them I appreciate them trying to at least take the time to see what's available to them. That's a big keyword, available to them, and what they're eligible for and entitled to is some of the keywords that key buttons that we push for them, and knowing that we're here for them because we know that they're all on fixed incomes, and any little bit they can save is going to be a lot of help. And then again, you want to also push, a lot of them I've been with Blue Cross Blue Shield, my daddy had it, this and that, or I'm with Mutual of Omaha, they've been treating me good, Banker's Life is good to me, and that's great, and you don't knock those companies. Of course, they've been great to you, but you many times, as Chris has probably told you, you want to use that to your advantage and let them know that, hey, we have in the Medicare guidebook, it tells you right on page 66 of the current 2012 version that all the supplements, as long there it goes, Chris has it, is they're all paid the same, or all the benefits are the same plan per plan. The only thing that's different is the amount that each insurance company charges. And there it is. Chris is showing you that. He actually shows that to people he does the online apps with, and that gives them a little bit more comfort level. And in a nutshell, I guess that's about it. You always, again, want to be very polite with them, and some people will be angry and, why are you calling me? I'm on the do not call list and crud like that. But, hey, it's a numbers game. Don't let it ruffle your feathers. Just go on through it. And some people start off a little bit grumpy. Then when they start realizing that you're there to help them, they've actually turned into the best kittens that we've ever had, and they referred business to us as well. And one thing, again, about the lead sheets it's important to have, and make yourself some, is, again, gather as much information as you can. Make little notes, I do, because some of the people that are uninsurable, those are not dead leads necessarily. They're opportunities to do cross-selling, as Chris will probably tell you later in this webinar, about companies like GTL with the Medicare Advantage Plus, and also with your final expense stuff. You know, a few times we've gotten into that on the cross-sell, and then of course the folder that I showed you earlier of people that are uninsurable, and we will get back to them in the October to December window and get them into a Medicare Advantage program. And I guess that's about all I can say for now.
Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. And one of the things that, let's see, what percent of your apps are signed up over ScreenShare? It's probably 80 or 90%. I'll tell you something recent that was a recent phenomenon with us this week. Thanks, Rick. For some of the people that were trying to get on, 2 people to be exact, with one guy, he was on the screen with us. He could see the entire application. I showed him page 66 of the book to reiterate what I always tell them, that the plans are exactly the same. It's just that we want to save them money. Then I took him to, in this case, South Carolina Department of Insurance website, showed him my license on there, showed him my PowerPoint presentation of who I am, loved it. Everything was fine. We get to the signature part, and he's trying to draw his signature using my method, and for some reason it was like a 30-second or 2-minute, up to 2-minute delay. He'd take his hand off, and it was still drawing. So something was really goofy there, and he said, well, I guess we have to do it the old Stone Age way, have to use the fax machine. So he broke out his fax machine that he had there. So naturally, I just took out the pages that he needed to sign, faxed them right over to his fax machine. He and his wife signed them, faxed them right back to us. And that actually happened again last week, late last week. A lady said, oh, we got a fax machine right here. Their daughter owned a pharmacy down the road and gave them a fax machine so they could send in their prescriptions to the daughter at the pharmacy. Well, who'd have known? She did not like computers, knew nothing of computers, and didn't want anything to do with them. So if you ask them if they have a fax machine, that's a much better way than, you know, waiting until doing something in the mail. But usually it's only about 2 out of 10, if that we have to actually do through the mail. If they know anybody that has an email address, we did one yesterday, same way. They've got a daughter who's got an email address. They don't know anything about the computer, so I can send the daughter a PDF file of the application, and then the daughter can print it out and then take it back to work to fax it back to us. So instantly we have this thing back, and it didn't cost $3 or $4 in postage. Yeah, we've had people go to Office Depot and fax it in. What was that guy's name? Frank. Remember him? Frank Rico. Yeah, he went to the local Office Depot, faxed it in, missed a page, and the fax cover page from Office Depot didn't say what their stinking telephone number was. So Rick scrambled around and found the phone number for this Office Depot. We called in there and said, hey, Rick, you missed a page. Or Frank. So he faxed it back in. But that's hopefully an answer to your question, Dave. And let me get this thing back in another format so that we can get it working. Hold on one second. And I do have an agenda that I think you'll find very interesting today. And let me show you exactly what it is. Boys, a lot of changes going on, especially since the last time we did our webinar. There's something that I need to make a modification on here, so just give me 1 second to find this. No, it's not the video. Anyway, these are some things that we'll go over today, basically. Just need to make a change here. And if you find yourself suddenly kicked off the webinar, please give the office a call later on, because there's something wrong with your contracting. So if you find in 5 seconds that you suddenly are vaporized from the webinar, again, give our office a call, and we'll get that sorted out. You can always watch the review later. All right. Just need to delete a few people that were no longer with us, but for some reason came in. Also, if you're in here as a guest, the video is pretty clear to use your first and last name. That'd be another reason why your screen is now going blank. And I think that's about it. I'm sorry, everybody, for just some house cleaning we had to do there, just to keep our information proprietary, because it is. That's about it on that. Okay, so we're going to talk about the latest news in Medicare. Boy, there's a lot of changes coming up, some things with Obamacare. I'm asked every day from a client who's signing an application, How is Obamacare going to impact me? Well, I've got some news on that for you from the New York Post. Great story from this week. Supplemental opportunities including GTL, CSI, GPM, and all kinds of acronyms you'll want to hear. And then working with a screener like Rick. We just kind of skipped ahead to that. And then what is the Westfall method? It's basically a method by which we can get a signature on the screen with every company with which we're contracted and not have to mail the contract out to somebody and get it back over and over and over again. Mailing stuff out is a pain, and if you can all avoid it, that's great. I've got a nice Pitney Bowes mail station over here. So they just, stick in an envelope and it puts a stamp on there. It says in red letters, "Please open immediately." It's wonderful, but I prefer not to use it. So I can bring people on my screen, and if you're here sticking around until the end of the webinar, I'm going to play the video step by step, and you can watch it again later in the replay of how this method works, what programs you need, where to get them, and all that, so that you too can have somebody signing on your screen. And what does it cost? Nada. If you use off-the-shelf products that I've just used and incorporated to use with this. Let's see, Carl, I've got a question about PDF Viewer. When I attempt to add a signature, it creates a blue flashing text box, prevents me from signing the signature box. That's because you're using a form. You can't use a form with that. That PDF file has to be unlocked. And I'll get into that more in specifics, probably on that video too, talking about PDF files. Forethought is notorious for that. They think they're helping over at Forethought by taking their PDF file and putting form fields in there. So you can tab over to the different form fields, and really it screws us up with this method. And so I take all of my applications from the states, if I'm going to use them in a new state, and I take the, hey Rick, can you tell me what the file name is for our lead sheet that you always make? Rebecca's asking for the lead sheet that we get off of Dropbox, that PDF file or doc file. Yeah, I can't remember which file name it is we use. If you find it there on Dropbox, if you let me know, I'll upload it here so they can see it. Yeah, it does happen with Mutual of Omaha and stuff like that too. If you have Adobe Acrobat, I'm not sure if PDF Exchange Viewer you can do it, but you can delete all of the form fields. Just completely obliterate those form fields and make it back to just a standard old plain dumb PDF file. I'm telling you, it works a lot better than being able to tab over. Some of those files, I think it's a Forethought one, you can't even save the document with the data in it. It's absolutely useless. They want you to print it out on the printer and then run and get somebody's signature. It just doesn't work for my method. So I encourage you to use the forms or convert those to forms that you can use. If you have problems with that, let me know. I can help you with it. Remove those form fields, and then you can sign your name, you can sign the client's name right on the screen, and that method works. But that's why you'd be running into that problem. We've got a lot of stuff to cover here, and I'll open it up to absolutely any and all questions here very soon. Let me just move along just a little bit here. We're going to talk about these companies in no particular order today. Omaha Insurance Company, brand new, just launched in Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. The good news is about this company, the rates are low. It's a teaser, blue light special, Kmart, low rate to get them in the door. Opening the door, on, was it Friday the 13th? No, what's that thing called right before Thanksgiving? Black Friday. That's what it is. It's Black Friday with Omaha Insurance Company, trying to get anybody and everybody to come in. When they first launched this company, they told everybody that the affiliate replacements, which is when you're replacing Mutual of Omaha or United of Omaha or what's the other one? Mutual, United of Omaha, whatever it was an old one. When you're replacing one of their existing companies with the newest rendition, the newest affiliate of Mutual of Omaha, they were telling us on the new company, you're going to get paid full commission. Bring them all. Just tell them to come on into the new company. This past weekend, Saturday as a matter of fact, they changed their mind on that and distributed in the cover of darkness, that's my opinion and not that of the agency or anybody that we're with, my opinion, they released this Saturday night to let you know that the affiliate commissions have in fact been reduced. So on a plan with Mutual of Omaha, you might write it in a state where it's 18% commission. Now all of a sudden, if you're replacing Mutual of Omaha to go to Mutual of Omaha and you didn't write that original business, or even if you did, you're going to get now paid about 12% or 11%. Kind of takes the excitement out of people who are coming over to Omaha Insurance Company. That's not to say it's bad or anything like that. I'm just letting you know if you're doing an affiliate replacement of Mutual, United of Omaha, or the other one, you're not going to be paid as much. And it's just, as simple as that. We replace a lot of business in here. Everything we do is replacement. And I typed a little thing in there to augment what Rick was saying. What we kind of do is we kind of drive a wedge in there, create some doubt, push a hot button when people are saying, oh, I haven't heard from my agent in years. Really? Well, did you know that as your rate continues to increase all the time, your agent is still sitting back collecting that commission instead of shopping that for you every year? That's what agents are getting paid for, is actually to shop that for you. They work for you on an ongoing basis, and that's what we do. So let me go into the other company is going to be CSI. We'll talk about that. Government Personnel Mutual. We've written a ton of that stuff in the last month. Medicare Advantage and Obamacare. What's going to happen there? I've got the exact information you need to see. And then supplemental. How you can make money on people you can't make money on. What am I talking about? The people that we're getting right now that are on Medicare Advantage, they call in here. They want to know, how can I get off this plan? I had a friend that went to the hospital on my Humana plan. They had to pay $5,000 out of pocket because they had this and that procedure, nickel and dime to death. Well, now we have a solution on those people, and we just did this week, getting paid online. I've written 4 of them already, where we can do it online with them, get those co-payments completely obliterated and taken care of for about $38 a month, and they are happy as a pig, and you know what, because they go from a 0 premium plan up to $38 a month, and then they have no more worry about a $200 a day or $500 a day hospital charge for the first 5 or 7 days. And this plan is gaining in popularity. You probably heard about it somewhere else, but we have it, got a great contract on it, and I'll be sharing that with you. First of all, Mutual of Omaha. There's really nothing to say here. It's the same people as before. They're just called now Omaha Insurance Company. There's been some debate, some discussion on the insurance agent forums about people, agents primarily that have been in the industry for a long time, kind of getting upset, fed up, and frustrated with the fact that now they've got a closed risk pool. And here's something you might need to explain to your clients, whether they're on Mutual or not on Mutual. You're engaging in a conversation with somebody who needs to know what a closed risk pool is. And here's basically what it is. If you call into a state, let's just say South Carolina, and somebody tells you they're on United of Omaha, okay? That's great. Well, did you know that Omaha Insurance Company is about to launch in South Carolina? That's a great thing. Rates will be lower, but you have to reapply, which means you have to go through underwriting again to get qualified for the new plan. If you do get qualified for the new plan, that's fantastic. If you don't, unfortunately, and if you don't make a move today, you get into what's a closed risk pool. And basically, your ship is sinking. Your ship is sinking, and there's no more lifeboats left. All the people who are going to abandon ship already have, because they're healthy and they knew to do so. And there's no younger people coming onto the ship at all to save the day. Basically, it works like this. United of Omaha announces to the Department of Insurance in a particular state they'll be closing new business for their existing affiliate, in this case, United of Omaha. No more people can come into United of Omaha. They're done. Close the front door. Nobody else can come in. The new company's over here enrolling new people all day long, the healthy, turning 65 and all that. That's great. If your client stays where they are on the closed risk pool, you instantly have people getting sicker. Those people can't move. They have chronic diseases, and those people are getting older. What happens when people get older and sicker? Their claims jump through the roof. So the overall rate increases for that closed risk pool start doing the debt spiral. It gets worse and worse and worse, circling the drain. That's why you're going to see companies like Mutual, United, and all that talking about rate increases over 20%. It's horrendous to a client. But if they don't have somebody calling them that can offer them a lifeboat, hey, while you're in good health, like Rick just told the lady 2 days ago, he can tell, and we can tell on the phone talking to these people that they've got COPD most of the time. They've got horrible, they're talking like this. They smoked all the life. Well, this lady was just about borderline COPD. I mean, we can hear it in the phone, but she says the doctor has not diagnosed her with that yet. So he very appropriately explained to her that if you don't get on one of these lifeboats while you still can, you're going to be stuck in that company with a chronic disease that prevents you from going to a better rate. You better do it now. And that is legitimate. It's 100% true. Those people that stay there on the old company, they're going to get horrible rate increases. Service is going to be great, same company. But on the other side of the house, you can do GPM, Gerber Life, Assured, Omaha Insurance Company, anybody else that's going to get them a better rate right now. And then you'll have often the people say, well, yeah, but you're going to save me 30% today, but what happens this time next year? They're going to raise the rate too. Well, would you like to have your rate raised on $50 and start going forward, or stay at $150 where you are right now and continue to get your rate increases twice per year, once on your policy anniversary and secondly on your birthday? Because that's what you're doing right now. At least I can bring you back 30% in some cases from where you are right now and give you a 12-month rate guarantee. You don't have to worry about this rate increase business for the next 12 months. It just makes sense to do it that way. So that's how we get a lot of clients, just explaining to them what happens when a new company like this closes down one of their affiliate companies, and that's happening right now in all the states that I mentioned. And were you wondering what those states were? Okay, where is this again, where these people are going to be having to do something or they're going to get these bad rate increases? Let me show you. It's right on slide number 2, which is sorted by, there we go, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, which is always great for Medicare, Pennsylvania, which is good, and West Virginia. So there's that. And then we're going to talk about CSI's launch. CSI is Central States Insurance. It's a company owned by Warren Buffett, and Berkshire Hathaway is one of the biggest, most successful investment outfits in the United States. Warren has a little touch of prostate cancer right now, but at his age, I'm told it grows very slowly, and it'll be wonderful. It'll be cured. He'll be fine. CSI is A+ rated, has a tremendous reputation in the industry right now. They're spreading through a lot of states, and more aggressive rates are coming, but they don't want to be number one. They don't want to be the lowest, everybody pile on rate. They're kind of selective, so they want to be number 2 or number 3. You're going to have a lot more information about CSI coming. It's very hard and very exclusive to try to get a contract with a CSI, but we finally did that, and I've got an office full of their paperwork right here. CSI does not automatically grant agent advancing, but we've also got that approved, and it's now attached to the contract. You'll find the contract for CSI and every company that we talk about today over now. It's just added at sellmedicarebyphone.com. Look on the left-hand side of the menu. On the left-hand side, you'll see CSI is one of the offerings there. It's a great company. Their underwriting is slightly tighter than Mutual of Omaha, but what that means is their rate increases are going to be less aggressive as well because of a cleaner risk pool, which is a good thing. We're going to talk about Government Personnel Mutual. And again, we've been selling the heck out of Government Personnel Mutual in here. It's got a tremendous story, and let me just share with you what that story is. In 1934, retired Army Colonel P.J. Hennessy set out to establish a new insurance company. Basically, this is what we tell folks. This is an insurance company that started over 75 years ago to give life insurance to servicemen and women that are out protecting us. And then as these people age and become veterans and come back here, they need obviously care for their Medicare supplements. So GPM Life is now in the business of helping people with their Medicare supplements. But here's the good news. It's now open, like credit unions are, for anybody in the public. So if you live in South Carolina, North Carolina, wherever they're offering coverage, and by the way, if you look down there in the green are the states where GPM is now available. It's got a tremendous story, and that's only half of it. Here's the second half. Have you ever heard of a small company called Mutual of Omaha? Well, GPM Life outsources all of their Medicare supplement administration, that is claims payment, billing, customer service, answering the phones, fulfilling their ID cards. All that is done by Mutual of Omaha, out of Omaha, Nebraska. So it's basically like you're driving a Cadillac. Somebody's letting you drive their Cadillac, but you're only paying the car payment of a Chevy. It's the same thing. It's the same ride. Same customer service people answering the phone, working for you night and day, and those claims are getting paid electronically just as fast in the exact same way as you did back on Mutual of Omaha. That's the story, and it sells. It works. People like to be part of something exclusive. Government Personnel Mutual used to be closed to the public, only open to government personnel. Kind of like Geico had that story way back when. Well, now Government Personnel is open to everybody. GPM Life. A- rated company, very strong. The people over at Mutual are issuing my policies in about 2 or 3 days. Then they're paying you the next week by direct deposit. It's working very smoothly. You can see it on Mutual's Producer Access. You can see the status of all your cases right along with your Mutual of Omaha cases as they progress through. One thing that nobody knows, though, about GPM is you just can't get it anywhere. As a matter of fact, you have to get it through somebody who's got it, kind of like CSI. But let me share with you what I learned about GPM today that nobody else will tell you. What's unique about GPM is something that's different if you look into it with the other Medicare supplement companies out there. I don't care who it is. What they're doing, and I talked about this last year, when you sell Plan F, the most common plan, the one that lazy agents sell, when you sell Plan F to people because it covers everything out there, and that's what your seniors are asking for, simply because they don't know the difference, the insurance company takes your annual premium before they send you a commission on that, whatever it is, 18%, 19, 20%. Oh no, they take that annual premium and they chop off $200 off that annual premium. Then they'll apply your commission rate, and then they'll charge you 1% per month in interest on that advance money. Did you know that? Well, the reason why they do that is because part of Plan F and Plan C and Medicare have that little deductible in there, that Part B deductible, which this year is only $140, and you should be telling people that. Well, it used to be $162.50. Doesn't matter what it is. The point is that the insurance company is taking $200 off the top so they can pay that deductible. Again, remember, it's $140 this year, plus an administration fee for them to take the money out of the premium and pass it on over to the government, and you're not a party to any of that. You're not getting paid on it. Well, GPM has decided that they're only going to take out $155 for that. It's only $15 a year to administer that pass-through of that deductible. So as you're just going out there selling Plan F, just remember you're going to get hit less, only $155 out of the annual premium, which is fair, as opposed to $200 like everybody else is out there doing. Number two here is very important. People are telling me all the time, like this was a big to-do when Gerber came out with it and said, hey, we're glad you're selling our program. By the way, we're going to start charging you 12% interest every year on your advance commission. I suddenly stopped writing Gerber, and you won't find it on my website as a result. But other companies are doing the same thing. But GPM's not. It's kind of nice. You get a whole year advance with 0% interest. That's pretty nice. Kind of goes into which company am I going to write today. So if you're comparing one company that might pay 2% more in commission, they're going to take 12% off your yearly commission. Add that up and see how it works out for you. I think this is going to be a winner for you. You add to that the story, the backing of Mutual of Omaha, and the incredibly low rates, and you'll find this is a winner. If you're not selling GPM, I really encourage you to look into it. And then, of course, their renewals are vested from day one. That's pretty important, too. So those are little things that most everybody didn't know about GPM and kind of found out about it. Let's talk about our illustrious president, our fearless leader, the leader of the free world, Barack Hussein Obama, who has taken, with the lead of a very large senior organization that I got in trouble for mentioning their name before, but I'll just say it's the largest senior organization with 4 letters that ends in P in the United States. And what they did is they lobbied Congress to get this part of Obamacare, $500 billion in reductions to the Medicare program to fund Obamacare for those uninsured folks. It's absolutely the fact. But what they've done now is in Obamacare, they have to account for those cuts somewhere. So where are they taking those cuts from? You guessed it, your senior clients. It's going to come first from the Medicare Advantage program. As a matter of fact, it was expected to kick in this year. But there's a catch. See, we have an election coming up in November, and nobody wants to be seen as the person who took benefits away from seniors, although that's exactly what almost said the name. That's exactly what this company's, they're supposed to be a nonprofit, but they made like $200 billion last year. How does that work? This company's lobbying firm went right through to the Obama administration, got this written as law. That's where that money's coming out of. I'm going to play for you a little clip if it works. And this clip is exactly about what's going on right now with the Obamacare thing, but it's kind of fast. So turn up your speakers, pay close attention, and you have to listen really fast to how this works. Then I'll kind of interpret it for you at the very end. But here's something in the news that if you didn't catch this week about this program and how he's going to change it so that it doesn't affect the senior.
Government auditors say Medicare is wasting more than $8 billion on an experimental program. The nonpartisan Government Accountability Office released a report Monday alleging the program pays bonuses to health insurance companies without merit. CNN reports on the original intent of Medicare Advantage. Medicare Advantage serves as an alternative to the original Medicare program and covers about 25% of all Medicare beneficiaries. It is offered to seniors through private insurers under contract with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which operate the government-sponsored health programs. The program was intended to improve the Medicare program, getting people connected with highly rated insurers, but the GAO report says that hasn't happened. KNTV reports.
The GAO says most of the money would go to Medicare Advantage insurance plans that are only rated average and would offset many of the initial cost cuts achieved by the new health care law.
The program is called the MA Quality Bonus Payment Demonstration, and GAO investigators are concerned it won't see the intended results. RedOrbit.com reports. The program is so poorly designed that researchers couldn't tell whether the bonus payments actually led to improved care or not. Insurers could better use the bonuses to offer extra benefits, like vision and dental care, or to lower premiums. Republican Senate Finance Committee member Orrin Hatch said he doubts the Department of Health and Senior Services has the authority to create the program in the first place. A blogger for The Hill says the report echoed what Republicans have said about the program all along. The report vindicated Republicans who have called the administration-backed initiative providing bonuses to certain insurers an extravagant political ploy. The report recommends the program be canceled and replaced with an older bonus system until a new one can be established that complies with the Affordable Care Act. But the New York Times reports administration officials plan to defend the program, saying they would not cancel it because it could improve the quality of care for older Americans. The report said the project would cost $8.3 billion over 10 years, with 80% of the cost occurring in the first 3 years. The report states if the program isn't cut, it could have a greater impact on the national budget than any Medicare demonstration project since 1995. For Newsy, I'm Lauren Goris. Multiple sources, the real story.
Okay, if you didn't catch anything about what that lady was talking about, 900 million miles an hour, let me kind of break it down for you. The headline kind of says it all in the New York Post. Bam. It's an $8 billion trick. You see, the president, without congressional approval, is allowed to have test programs with Medicare. It's kind of like hidden in the HHS creation of Health and Human Services document that they can have experiments when they're supposed to be helping seniors. Well, the experiment that's going to happen this year is they're going to prop up the Medicare Advantage program so that the cuts that are intended to take place this year seemingly won't be taking place because they're going to be getting $8 billion in test money. Now, this is going to go to any Medicare Advantage program that's only rated 3 stars or above. The Government Accountability Office, the nonpartisan research part of the government, investigators call this pure fraud. It's smoke and mirrors. So next year, as a matter of fact, right after this new annual election period for Medicare Advantage, this sucker's going to kick in and your seniors are going to be screaming like stuck pigs. They're going to be so upset, they're going to be calling for the lynching of this president, who will probably be reelected with the intelligence of the country. But that is safe to say that when people are asking me every day, what's going to happen to Medicare with the Obama plan, if they're on Medicare supplements right now, they're great, because President Obama has made it clear he wants those people to come back from Medicare Advantage, where he thinks, he said many speeches on this, and I just didn't get the video, many speeches he said the government has been propping up private insurance companies doing Medicare Advantage. He wants to stop that practice. Well, it's in the Affordable Health Care Act to do just that, to strip those benefits and extra dollars from Medicare Advantage, push them back into the Medicare program, and guess what? They're going to be sitting there all alone wondering, how can I get a Medicare supplement policy? Well, in here we only target people who are 67 years old to 74. There's a really good reason for that. You see, after 67, they know what Medicare is all about. We don't have to educate them from A to Z, and we always ask them if they've gotten this book, and they said, yeah, I got it back when I was 65, haven't looked at it since. That's fine. You know what plan you're on. We'll educate you a little bit about Plan G, and we'll get your business because you're frustrated, you're mad, you haven't heard from your agent since you were 65 years old. Then on the top end of that, we want to stop at around 75 or 74 because we want people that are healthy, can answer the health questions appropriately, and get underwritten. That's the name of the game. If we're wasting time on people who are 78, 80, 82 years old, a lower and lower percentage of those people are going to be approved. Hey, everybody needs love too, and I'm sure there's agents out there willing to help them. We just found a better use of our time in really sticking with people between 67 and 74 years old. Also, that question that you asked me earlier about how many of these people can go online. Another reason why we work on that target demographic is because that number is extremely high. Those people who are leaving the workforce or still almost 75 years old, and they have access to a computer, or their kid or grandchild does. Also, that Medicare supplement lead sheet is down there for your viewing pleasure. Just click download file and you'll be able to see the PDF of the document we're using. One thing we're going to add to it whenever we have a minute or two is we're going to put a little box down there on that lead sheet to kind of capture, when Rick has talked to these people, somewhere down in here what the savings represents, like monthly savings and then yearly savings. Because whenever I get somebody on the phone, that's the first thing I want to bring to their attention. Hey, you spoke with Rick in our office here, and he identified $3,600. That's the one we're working on right now. $3,600 between husband and wife that we can save them from going from Mutual of Omaha, in their case, to GPM Life. Same customer service, same bills paid, same plan, and $300 a month less. It's kind of a no-brainer. And how fun is it? I can tell you how fun it is because I'll play you a message in just a second so you can hear it for yourself, how awesome it is to be the one that puts money into the houses of seniors. We give money away every week. The more money we give away, the more money we make. It's just freaking awesome, basically. So what else is on the... Oh, okay. Yeah, the supplement insurance. Well, that's really fun. And I was talking about that a minute ago. It's Guarantee Trust Life. You've heard about this from everywhere. You've gotten calls from your favorite persistent broker out there telling you about it. Well, we have a great contract with GTL. It's 50%. That means 50% of... this is a good background of the company. It's a great company. Hey, pause this on the review and you can watch more about it. Where's the money come from? Selling this particular plan right here. It's called the Advantage Plus. And when we come across somebody who's on Medicare Advantage and they didn't know whether or not to transfer in, so they go ahead and do that, we can go to like the Ritter Quote Engine or Medicare.gov Plan Finder, which you can find in a Google search for Medicare Plan Finder, take you right to it, and we can find their particular plan in their county, and we can find what we want to zero in on the Ritter Quote Engine. It's under MAPD. Type in their zip code, their age, and let me look at what's available for you, Mrs. Jones. And we can see that they have a $250 or $300 per day, or heck, even $100 per day for 7 days would wipe some of these people out. Sure, they have a zero premium plan, or maybe $30 a month, but they think they have comprehensive care. Well, try using your plan for the hospital for 2 extended stays in 1 year, and when you reach that $3,500 or $5,000 out of pocket, tell me about your wonderful zero premium plan at that point. So this plan comes in handy. It's got a desktop calculator. You run the program. You can choose anywhere from $60 to $150 a day benefit. You can tag on the ambulance trip at $200 a trip, skilled nursing care and all that kind of stuff. I really don't. What I really want to zero in on, I probably should, now that I think about it, because I'm already there. But what I really zero in on is the quick, easy thing and say, look, let's attack that huge copayment that you're going to be faced with. Let's face it, as you get older, the chances of you having an extended hospital stay go up exponentially. You've been benefiting from this zero premium plan with Care Improvement Plus or Humana or United Healthcare, whoever it is. You need to have some insurance to protect your checkbook, don't you agree? Yes. Well, for about $30 a month, between $30 and $50, you select the benefit, we can offset those costs. And by offset, we can either pay for all of them or half of them. You decide. Let's show you on the screen. Hey, we go to the screen share that we're going to cover again in the Westfall method. We get them on the screen, and we show them exactly how this can be done. The application is simple. It takes less than 5 minutes. We do it on the screen share with them. If they don't have the screen share thing, we can still do it electronically with them on the phone. We record all the phone calls with them. We dial in the benefit. The policy is issued automatically in just a couple of days. You get paid the next week. Again, 50% commission with a 9-month advance. So let me get out my handy-dandy calculator here, and you can't see it unless I share the screen. But let's do $40 a month times 9 months times 50. It's going to make you $180 for talking to somebody on Medicare Advantage that you couldn't do anything with before. It's kind of like getting paid for prospecting. So you might as well bring it up. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Jones, before I let you go, there is a new program available in the state of South Carolina where you can get all those Medicare co-payments paid for should you have to go into the hospital. Did you know that your maximum out-of-pocket on your plan is $3,500? I don't know about you, but most seniors that I know that are on fixed incomes don't have $3,500 sitting in their checkbook waiting on their next trip to the hospital, which we know could happen anytime. There is a new program available that for about $35 a month can completely take care of that for you. Would you like to hear more about it? And it's that simple. Again, the contracting for... Oh, Joe said he can't see that. Hang on one second. The contracting for that program... Oh, I know what it was. For GTL and CSI is going to be on my website. And since it's not showing up right now, I know why it's on there. It's just hidden. So I'm going to refresh that page while we're in a live webinar and get that going. How cool is that? Don't go anywhere. Got something for you. Just one second. I need to make that web page available to you. So this design change will take just a second, I promise. So the CSI one will be available now. And the GTL, which is added today as well, is available now. And what was the other latest one? Cross-selling, all that. Okay, Joe, if you can check back on the website in 60 seconds, it will be updated with that contracting now visible on the left panel. You'll just have to hit the F5 in your browser, and by hitting F5 a couple of times, it'll be refreshed in your cache, and you'll be able to see those files available to you. And there'll be training on each one of those particular companies coming up very soon, too. Back to my screen here. So that's it on that, and our follow-up programs have been working great too, and I'm going to share with you something on that that'll knock your socks off. Last year I attributed 30% of my income of the new clients coming in simply from my follow-up program. How long does it take? You're about to see. It takes 60 seconds. 60-second follow-up program follows up with my client for the entire year and systematically asks for referrals and gets them from people. Oh, there it is right there. Here's the here's the follow-up system I'm talking about. No doubt you've heard about it. I'm going to share with you now how I use it, and maybe you can see part of the campaign that I use for this. I'm not sure, but I want you to see exactly how I use it, so I made a little video for you. And here's the video of how I use send-out cards to systematically get new business. This is a voicemail that was left in my office on Monday of this week. Yesterday I incorporated it into a video so you can kind of see how it works. Then you have to kind of pay attention because I do it in real time. It's not sped up video. I do type fast, I'll give you that. But I go through and all I do in here is put in their first name, last name, address, phone number, which you don't even need for a card, and then what's their birthday, and add them to the Medicare client list or campaign. That's all I do. This shows you how to do that, and you'll hear exactly what one of my new clients, who happened to be a referral from another client who got a send-out card. You can always tell with these people because they get that card in the third week of being my client. Then they start referring people too.
Chris, hey, this is Anna Louise. I do want to thank you for helping me, and y'all's PR is really great in your communication. I really appreciate it. I'm in the process of having to deal with Banker's Life. Anyhow, so thank you so much, and I do appreciate it. I wish you well, and I will keep you in mind as I talk to my friends, okay? Thanks so much. Your family's darling. Bye-bye. Y'all's PR is really great in your communication. I really appreciate it. Anyhow, so thank you so much, and I do appreciate it. I wish you well, and I will keep you in mind as I talk to my friends, okay? Thanks so much. Your family's darling. Bye-bye.
All right, I'm going to break into the video here for this new breaking news. I don't know if you saw that screen just before that. It showed that I've already sent 2,505 cards. 2,505 cards already from this send-out cards login. And I wouldn't be doing that if it didn't work. So here I'm about to enter the information in there, and again, it looks like it's sped up video, but it's really not. This is in real time, so you can just see. This is all you have to do. You put their name and address and birthday in there. That's it. The campaign does everything automatically. All right, you see those group memberships down there at the bottom? That's how I can send out a Thanksgiving card, an Easter card, a Christmas card, a postcard, whatever, and I want to send it to my MedSup clients. So I created a group in my Send Out Cards login called MedSup Clients. So now if I want to go through and find contacts that are my MedSup clients and send them all one card that's customized with their name in the card, my handwritten signature and everything, all I got to do is click on Find My MedSup Clients. That's why I'm adding this person to that group. All right, here's the rest. Now I'm adding her to the campaign, and the campaign is now launched. It's going to cost me 9 points at 31 cents each and $1.80 in postage, and she's going to get cards for the next year. And her birthday, on her birthday, she gets a card automatically. So I'm sure you've heard of Send Out Cards somewhere else. If you're not using it in your business and you're selling life or health insurance, you have no idea what you're missing. And I really encourage you to implement that in your business as soon as possible, because the clients that you're losing on the referral side, you'll never know. You'll never get that. And this costs 62 cents for a card or 31 cents for a postcard. So for $31, I can write 100 of my last clients a postcard and say, hey, thank you for being my client. This is my family. By the way, just want to introduce them to you. And that personal touch goes a long, long way. Okay, let's see. I have one more thing that got added here late to the webinar. Okay, that's about it for the agenda portion of the webinar. I want to open up the questions. Joe, if you want to go back to sellmedicarebyphone.com and hit the refresh, you'll see up on the left-hand side in alphabetical order, CSI's contracting is on there. Now, what they do different with CSI, you need to know, is they have to get approval. They have regional managers that are really agencies that have done millions in Medicare premium and have been afforded exclusive territories across the country. So each one of those regional managers has to approve you coming into that state. So it does take a while with contracting. I did 14 states at once, and it took, oh good, you found it. It took a couple of months to get that done just because of that, but now I can share it with you. I need to expand this question thing so I can see. So what exactly do I need to do with my PDF viewer to get it to work? Send me that PDF file that you're having challenges with, Carl. Send me that file and I'll convert that for you. I'll just go into Adobe Acrobat and strip that sucker out, and again encourage the folks over at Foresters or I'm sorry, Forethought not to lock those things down there. So that's about it. I'm going to share with you in just 1 second if you want to grab a drink real quick or use your rest area real quick. I'm going to have on here the Westfall method, everything that I do to get the signatures done online. But I want to reiterate to you what it is that we're doing as far as duplication in here. And I can't stress this enough. By having somebody in here to work with, Rick, having him in here and asking these questions twice as often, or in most cases, he's actually prospecting and asking these questions of people to sift them and put them through the pipeline while I'm finishing up the junk from the day before and finishing those applications that I need to fax out and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing more efficient than having somebody cooking or catching them so that I can cook them and clean them on the back end. And if you want to be efficient, that is the way to go. Like I said, selling a lot of GPM, Mutual of Omaha, the new companies out there. If you haven't sent your contracting in for that company yet, actually it's just an advancing form so you can get that activated. You really need to get that in really bad. That's on sellmedicarebyphone.com too. There's some people here with us on the webinar today that are just with us on Forethought. So let me give you a little update there. There have been some major improvements in the last couple of months with Forethought. And I'm not too shy to tell you that we had a major impact on the feedback that has facilitated those changes for not only our organization, but for agents across the country, because they've really listened. And that's everything with the aptical interview to the PDFs to the two-part application process and zeroing that in, and actually making that available to you, because the initial thought was to not make that available to the field. Now it is, due to some very loud feedback. So I really want to hear from you how your experiences are going with Forethought. Many of you don't know that Forethought has one of the top packages of annuities in the country available, and many of you checked off on the application when you got contracted, I just want to do final expense, or I just want to do Medicare supplement. You might be missing the boat there, because this is the best cross-selling opportunity out there to be bringing people in that have money, namely Medicare supplement people, and cross-selling with those people with things like annuities and life insurance, final expense. One other company that we brought on recently, and I didn't get time to add it to the webinar today, is Royal Neighbors. Royal Neighbors is just like Foresters. It's an independent nonprofit fraternity. It's a fraternal benefit society. Tremendous rates, over 100 years old, and you can do it through the mail. They don't have a phone electronic enrollment system, but they do allow you to do it through the fax or through the mail. And Royal Neighbors is a company geared toward focusing on women, empowering women, supporting women, and all that. But like Foresters, they also give back to the community and do a lot of things through local chapters with Royal Neighbors. When I first got started doing final expense, I was with Equita. A lot of people have heard of Equita. They give you leads, so much leads per week, and then you get a horrible contract, and then eventually you figure out you could have a much better contract if you got your own leads with final expense. But it was a good place to get my feet wet. I wrote a lot of business with Royal Neighbors. And what I've learned about Royal Neighbors over the years is those clients stay on the books, just like Foresters, because the company takes care of them. They send them a monthly newsletter. They send them tickets to local events, and they really take care of these people. And that's why I think Royal Neighbors should be added to whatever you're doing. The underwriting is fantastic. There's no height and weight chart. And they're very liberal on diabetics as well. So you can do that through the mail anywhere in the country, or do it face-to-face, but they've got some of the best rates in the industry. Okay, let me take a couple of questions here, and then after these questions, I'm going to roll the Westfall Method video, and then that will take us out for today. If you missed any portion of this webinar, I encourage you to come back to the site that you went to first from that email, and there, instead of my picture talking about click here to get on the webinar, it's going to have the replay of this webinar, God willing, if everything works on the recording side, which it looks like it's working over there. So we'll probably have a good recording. So I'll take a couple of questions and type it into the box down below, and then we'll play that video of how we do the screen sharing method. Billy wants to know, is Rick still doing the real-time version of the dialer? Yes, he is, and I'm so glad you asked that, because you reminded me of the part of the thing that I was going to play before. Now, there was an interview that we did with one of our guys about the dialer and about the leads, and there's a new opportunity because I was now given a national wholesale membership with the dialer. I've got 4 logins now, able to do 100,000 calls at a time, which is freaking phenomenal. Okay, I wanted to show you this really quick interview with Chad and his experiences with the dialer and how it's working with them. But to answer your question real quick, Billy, yes, we're doing direct live transfers, and you can do that too in your office. They're very inexpensive, very easy to do and to set up, and I can help you get that set up. It does cost about 2 cents a minute, though. But let me tell you this. We've been finding in here that after 1,300 transfers, we've at least written 1 application. That's 1,300 calls made. That's $26. $26 in leads, and we've got an app done. And you look at the cost of acquisition of a new client when you're doing internet leads at $7 a piece. Maybe you have to go to 8 or 10 leads before you get that in. This is phenomenal when you can dial that slow or that fast or however many you want to, and you control it from your office, and you can turn it on or turn it off anytime you want. The only caveat with that is if you run it and you do a direct transfer dialer that's coming into your office all the time and directly onto your desktop, you just have to set it up with an account that's $600 one time, and after that each refill is $600. So it's going to give you quite a bit of minutes, 30,000 minutes all at one time, and you can use them as you wish, either broadcast, blast everybody, or trickle in like we're doing here on a daily basis. So watch this real quick about the dialer. It's pretty important. All right, so if you don't mind, can I ask you a couple of questions about the leads and what your experience so far? So we ran the dialer for you last week on, what was it? Was it Thursday night? I think it
Thursday.
was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got them on Friday.
That's right.
And how many did we get for the 10,000 calls?
I got 45.
45. Dang.
Yeah.
What does that make the cost per lead, man?
$4.44.
That is crazy. And what's your experience been like when you're calling these people so far?
Well, believe it or not, I didn't start calling them till Monday morning, and I've only gotten through 5.
5?
Yes, because they like to talk, and you just maybe I'm doing something wrong, and not I just like to spend quality time with them, I guess. Right. Don't want to cut them off or cut them short or whatever. But anyway, all 5 of them have been pretty good. They've wanted to talk to me. Nobody's kind of told me to get off the phone or anything. And in fact, one of the guys who didn't want to give me his name, I just did their application for him and his wife this morning. Now they've got some health issues. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get them to go through. They were able to answer no to all the health questions, but you just never know with these things, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, and a couple of them, one lady's got a test that she's got to get done, a colonoscopy, in December, and if that checks out okay, then, Mutual said we could submit an app. I just called them, for underwriting questions. I don't know if we're going to go with Mutual, but,
right. Right.
And then I feel pretty confident out of the 5 that I'm also going to have another customer out of these as well. So that's potentially 4 so far. One guy would have gone with me, but he already had a pretty low cost plan in. It was like $100, and
yeah.
I couldn't beat that. But
right.
I mean, he would have switched. So I mean, that's 5. And this morning I would have already started calling these other ones, but I just got done. I mean, this guy was just talking my ear off, and I mean, he's telling me his whole life history.
Right.
So I just kind of had to wing it. So
what's the opening that you're using with these people that's getting them to open up and trust you so much to write that many apps and go that far?
Well, like I said, I've only done the 2, and I'm hoping to get more. But really what I'm saying is kind of what, based on that script that you guys give, it's kind of the same thing I've been using is, hey, my name's, Chad. I'm calling in regards to Medicare options. You had left your information for us to give you a call back to see if we can't save you some money. Is now a good time to talk? And most of them start off with saying, nah, not really, I only have a few minutes, but that's just because they don't really know you.
Right.
And if you kind of start talking with them, I mean, I've been on the phone with some of these people for an hour and, 30 minutes when they told me they didn't have the time to talk. So, and a lot of times what I do to try to build a little trust with them and rapport off the bat is just talk to them about where they live, Like I'll ask them kind of their zip code and say, oh, really, how long you live there? Are you from Georgia originally? Or, whatever it is, just
right.
to kind of get them to try to talk before we even get into it. Some of them want to go ahead and just get right into it, but, I just try to talk with them first a little bit.
So out of your first 5 people that you've had conversations with, how many would you say were positive out of those 5 people?
As far as positive, just
positive conversations, yeah.
All 5 of them.
Okay.
All 5 of them, yeah. One lady who was 80 years old, I mean, heck, I was on the phone with her for 45 minutes,
wow.
But, it was still kind of, I could tell she still wasn't sold 100% on the deal, and
right.
It was kind of like, yeah, I'll call you back, but I mean, at least she stayed on the phone with me, but she was kind of short with me the whole time, but
sure.
I would say out of the 5, I only had one that was kind of, kind of snippy.
So out of 45 people that you have total, how do you feel the prospects are going to be going forward with the rest of them?
Well, if I sell one, I make my money back, basically. So, and then I'm hoping, I mean, as long as they don't go too cold on me, that's the thing I'm a little nervous about because,
right.
I can only make so many calls, and I've got other lines of insurance and other things that I'm working on as well. And so, I'm hoping that they don't go cold on me. That's my biggest fear. I mean, I was going to try to call 23 yesterday and then the other 22 or whatever today, but, I mean, it's already noon, almost, and so.
So you're telling me that we sent you too many leads?
No, you did not send me too many leads. No, I just don't want them to go cold.
And
that's the thing, because people forget they leave their information. That's the biggest problem with these
right.
direct mail things is
right.
that they forget that they mailed anything in, and then all of a sudden they're they don't want to talk to you. So.
Very good. Well, thanks for answering those questions for me. Is there anything I can do for you down here?
No, not at all. I mean, the program seems to be working pretty good, and hopefully it's something that will continue to. We'll be able to profit off of. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Chad, thanks so much, man. If there's anything I can do for you, please do let me know.
Okay.
All right, that's just another video of my son playing as he's getting another award. You know, he gets these things all the time. He's got his regional competition. He made it past districts and all that kind of. That's him, number 3 down there. He's got another competition tomorrow in the 4x8 relay in the big regional competition. Anyway, just thought I'd share the video since I had it. The one last question that we had here was, Dave, is the new option to use the email only with TalkFusion? What is TalkFusion? That's how we do video emails and everything. I'll put the link up there. What is TalkFusion? Hey, that's a good question, and that website answers it. Will that be enough to work with us and everything? And yeah, I think it will. The only challenge is on the really cheap version with TalkFusion, you don't get the custom template. And I've got a couple of custom templates that I use with folks that goes over very, very well. I wasn't prepared to do it, but I can do it anyway. I'll put up here what one of my templates looks like so you can see it, and it really goes over well. We're kind of going through a metamorphosis, a change. We're changing our name of what we're calling ourselves, calling out from here, to something that doesn't sound so official but is still as effective. And we're calling ourselves the Senior Savings Network. The Senior Savings Network. We're just trying it out, and it's working really well. Let me share with you my desktop and see if this is going to work. And bring this over so you can see what I'm talking about. This is my, if this works with my TalkFusion back office, it's about 8 seconds delay. And you'll see what my National Medicare Service Center template looks like. Actually, it'd probably be better if I took that full screen. So let me do that. And if you click down there on the left where it says Fit to Window, it's on your purple bar down there. Click Fit to Window. You have to do it on your end. And once you do Fit to Window, you can actually see it. That's actually my father-in-law and mother-in-law that I used one of their pictures. But TalkFusion created this template for me so I can create a video email and send out video not only of me, but also the videos of companies or reviews of companies or a canned presentation or whatever I want from YouTube. A story about Medicare Advantage, for instance, a story about the Obama administration, a story about their particular company in the news. I can put that after my video introduction. That works out really well. So this is just one of the templates, and they've got so many more that I just love using. Let's see, I'm just going to show you one more before I start that video. Don't go anywhere. My favorite one, because it's coming from the beach. See if I can find it here. I use it quite often. You've probably seen it. If I've sent you a video email recently, it's this one. It's coming up in just a second. You'll see it. It's sitting on the beach. Because we're from Daytona Beach area, I like to send this to folks and let them know where we're coming from and all that. And this shows full screen as a background template surrounding the image that I'm sending out. So to answer your question more specifically, these templates that are already in the system, yeah, you can use them anytime you want to. Or you could build your own template. I've got, let's see, I've got a template here that I made for a birthday, but I've got one here. This is the first rendition. When I first got TalkFusion, which is over a year ago, this is the template that I created. And even with the cheaper version of TalkFusion where you don't have the webinar stuff, which is about to change and be really cool, you can change this banner to whatever you want. You can change this picture to whatever you want. Change your text here, and of course change this on every video email that goes out. It works very well. The neatest thing that I like about, go back to the screen here, about TalkFusion these days is we can see when I send a video email to somebody sharing with them, hey, I'm just introducing myself. We just spoke on the phone. I got your email address. Just want to let you know who we are, kind of put a face with a name, and answer that question in more detail that you had with me when we were talking. And I'll go over blah, blah, blah. But I can see exactly when they're watching that email. As soon as they click that email, whether it's now, tomorrow, or whenever, when they click that email, it pulls an image from TalkFusion that notifies me immediately that my client is watching my video email. So then I have the choice, of course. I can pick up the telephone and call them up. Hey, I see you just watched my video. What'd you think? Did it spark any more questions? And pick up the dialogue from that. So TalkFusion is kind of priceless in my business. And then Travis asked me a question about robocalls, the dialer, and all that stuff. Yes, I've researched it ad nauseum, and I used to study laws for a living and enforce them. So I can tell you, if you study the McCarran-Ferguson Act, it's a 50-year-old Supreme Court case that says that the insurance industry is not governed by federal laws. It's only governed by state laws. That's called the McCarran-Ferguson Act, which would seem to exempt insurance company marketing. As a matter of fact, there's an Attorney General opinion exactly on that matter about insurance companies marketing running afoul of other federal agencies and being exempted from marketing practices because they are only regulated by the states. And that's why we won't call into states like Indiana, Ohio, and California for that very reason. Those states have enacted specific state laws barring insurance marketing by use of robocalls or unattended dialers. So I hope that will spark some interest on your part to go do an internet search about the McCarran-Ferguson Act. If you come anywhere close, you'll find the Google result that goes into it. That's all for the questions. I'm now going to play the video. If you had any questions after this, let me put up my email address. Please feel free to write to me. Usually it'll take me about a day to go through all the emails whenever I put this up there. Christopher@medicarebyphone.com. That's the best email to reach me. I got 5 callbacks. Alrighty then, time to wrap this sucker up, but we're going to take it out with the video showing the Westfall method that I came up with to do the screen signatures online. And again, if you missed it, go back to the original link that got you to this video, this webinar in the first place, and there you'll see the replay at some point when I get around to it, putting it back up online. It'll probably take several hours, if not tomorrow morning, to see that. Y'all take care. God bless. Thanks for being here today. And let me get that thing queued up so we can see the good old method of getting the signatures online. It'll save you tons of time and effort and make your clients very happy. And they always say the same thing. Wow, how did you do that? I didn't know you could do that online. Oh, but before I show you that, this is us moving into the office. This is great. What's this?
E?
Do we have any dowels left?
Yes, Dad, we have 100 of them.
That's good. What?
What else do you need?
I need F.
You.
What is wrong with your wife?
She's a crackpot.
What is wrong with her?
You don't need E?
That's those goofballs, my wife and father-in-law, putting together the desks in here when we first moved in. Okay, and here we go with the Westfall method. If this interrupts or gets screwed up at any point, I apologize. We'll send you the original version so you can watch it whenever you want to. Take care, y'all. Hi, Chris Westfall here. Today we're going to go over my digital signature method, which has recently been approved by Forethought Life Insurance Company, among others, for the purpose of gathering signatures right over the computer screen. Now your clients don't even have to leave their armchair, and they can apply for Medicare supplement coverage through you. This information